stars that do. This might be Hipposteria or something similar to it. And they definitely seem to be some of the dominant, or very common at least, predators of corals. You can see how in this particular coral, it is naked all the way up to the sea star, and it will just proceed up the coral, eating as it goes.
Wow.
Come wide, please.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah.
There are sea stars eating corals also in the shallow coral reefs. Very famous one is the crown of thorns starfish, which also caused significant damage in several coral reefs, including on the Great Barrier Reef, where they actually have campaigns to get rid of them. They inject them with vinegar to kill them to protect the corals.
With vinegar, that's interesting.
Greta, at what point do you consider them invasive?
I guess when they start to create really big damages on the coral reefs, so you can see extended patches of reef that just get killed. I wouldn't say they are a big problem in Palau, because they exist. They are in place as every other animal in the ecosystem. They play their role, but they don't. There's no reason to worry about them unless they do like outbreaks, and you find like many, and the corals start to profusely die because they eat it.
So in shallow water, it's just a problem where there's many other environmental perturbations on top of them, such as pollution or warming causing bleaching and those kinds of things. So it's a multiple stressor thing that causes their outbreaks, or something else.
There's a lot of research now that has been undertaken on the subject, but it seems like higher temperatures improve their ability to reproduce, and so with the global warming, their reproductive rates are increasing, and so there's more of them around, and usually they spend most of the day. Wow, it's wonderful! Wow. They spend most of the day hidden underneath the corals and the rocks.
You change the ISO.
And they eat at night. So
Can
it's
we
also
drop back down just a touch, Josh, to get another shot of that?
Sure.
That was a really good dramatic reveal, the giant coral.
Yeah.
so it's hard to see them during the day and kill them because they come out at night.
Oh, thank you for that
Great.
insight.
Look at that.
Is this a coral that we've seen before?
It's one of the bamboos. I am not sure if they've seen it on the past watch or not. That was a nice shot. That's great.
A couple more.
That is a tree.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a nice photo. That's perfect.
Wow.
Can we zoom in on the polyps, please?
Sure. So that jittering is the current. That's not me. That's interesting. It's really moving.
So it's coming from our right,
Yeah.
moving to the left. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we'll zoom in, please. The polyps are really small, or are they just closed up?
Yeah, I don't know. They're kind of looking closed up. Yep, they are closed.
Huh.
Why would
Maybe the current's just too strong at the moment. It's kind of surprising, but
Yeah, you think they'd be loving that?
yeah, I would think. I guess there's a threshold for everything.
Sure.
So why would the polyps close? Is that some sort of defense mechanism?
Well, I didn't expect it. I would have thought they would want their polyps open if there was current, because the current would bring them food. But yeah, perhaps at certain current speed, they
Okay, we'll
yeah,
come
we're
wide,
getting
please.
we need a really tight on the polyps from some of our onshore scientists. They're not sure what it is.
Okay.
It could be ecnomysis.
There's one branch with open polyps right near your lasers.
Okay, I'll try and...
Is the open polyps portion over here, Rye? Is that where you saw
It's
that?
up more.
No. Oh, up here. I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right
Okay.
there. Those are open polyps.
Okay, I'll zoom in, please.
Wow, good eyes.
Yeah.
Steve is also interested in the squat lobster.
So I'll try and keep as steady as I can, as floating here. Okay, we can zoom in more. Zoom in with all you got. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, we'll try and get closer.
That's really good. Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, we'll come wide, please.
Let's take a look at the squat lobsters if we can.
So it's near the center of the colony?
Yeah, I see some right down there.
Okay.
And then, yeah, we'll have to get moving after this one here.
Yeah.
Okay, where am I looking again? Sorry. Oh, there. Okay, zoom in, please.
Yeah, you see. Yep.
Yep, I got him.
Do you want your aft light on? I can't see your tether.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we can zoom in more. I'm trying to get that squat lobster in the back there. Try to get closer.
Really pale. Not a lot of red on them at all. That's great. Okay.
Okay, we'll come wide, please. Okay, I'm gonna go over top of this one.
Okay.
So the squat lobster is Immunodopsis guachuni, a very unique species. And Steve is writing a paper on them with Paula Rodriguez Flores, actually. Looks like maybe an Umbellapathes. A couple of them in here. There are some interesting things to the right, Josh, if you can spin just a touch. Ah, I see, it's wow, big Magnospiralis in the back, more bamboos, some dead sponge stalks. Can we take a look at that right there?
Yep.
I think that may just be Magnospiralis turned on its side there. Yeah, it is actually. We don't need to zoom on that.
Okay.
Okay, upwards we go. down on the bottom. Yeah, there's a little chrysogorgid or something right there. What is that right there? Can we,
The one floating?
oh, it's just a, is that a sea cucumber just floating
I
by?
think so, yeah.
Yeah.
The little
okay.
orange one?
Yep.
Do you want to look at it?
Nope. We
Nope.
keep going.
Okay.
We've seen lots of penny agony.
Yeah.
Bathopathes, proisocrinus.
So vibrant.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. Bolosoma sponge down there. That's a nice shot, Greta.
Yeah, I feel like his camera sometimes is cooperating and sometimes is not.
Yeah.
Maybe tonight is a lucky one.
Let's take a look at all the stuff that's on that rock right in there.
Okay.
Looks like there's a whole lot of sponges and other things.
We'll zoom in, please.
It may have just been the texture. There is a sponge, but maybe not as much as it seemed from a distance. Yeah, okay, let's keep going.
Okay, come wide.
Polyopogon sponge there.
Ali and welcome. We are currently exploring an unnamed seamount west of Babeldaob Island, just outside the boundaries of the Palau National Marine Sanctuary, which was mapped for the first time by EV Nautilus. If you have any questions, any comments, please send them over on nautiluslive.org.
Please zoom in, please.
Yeah, that sponge is great. It's covered in little brittle stars. This is the Trilonia. I'm for exact spacing out the precise name, but Chrysogorgid over there.
You're welcome, Mike.
That's great, thanks. Tritoplura, that's the name I was looking for.
That's wood?
Oh, nope, that's dead sponge.
Alright.
Kind of looks like wood.
So
Yeah, you can see all the dead sponge that's fallen down here, and there's some of the stalks up above.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was probably another one of these Tretopleura sponges or pieces of it. And other sponges have grown up here, Poliopogon and a bunch of different corals.
The sponge graveyard.
Yeah, look at all the pieces. It's just incredible.
Do the sponge have a set life limit, right?
I don't think so.
And what could have caused such a big mortality here?
That is a great question.
You think they migrate here when it's time to die?
There's a beautiful Hyalonema sponge right there in the middle. It's got a whole colony of hydroids growing on the stalk of it.
Can you zoom in, please?
Oh, they got 2 circles on the...
what is this called?
This is called Hyalonema.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one where the stalk, which is now covered in these zoanthids, is made out of these twisted, looks like fiber optic cables.
Oh.
It's incredible.
Wow. It would make a very stylish wine glass.
Oh.
Yeah. How much space do we have in baskets? There's some interest in collecting this here.
Okay, let's stop the ship.
We've got a large bio box open.
Is it the front box?
There is a front one, but we have a starboard one as well.
Go
So
come
we
by,
will not
please.
free any sea cucumbers.
Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and collect this. And there's interest in those zoanthids.
Okay, so you want to do like the...
Pick the flower.
I'll get set up first here.
Is this going to be possible, Josh? I know there's a lot of boulders there, so if this is not
I would,
possible, we'll move on.
I would say this is possible.
Okay.
So, Josh, as you navigate terrain like this, what goes through your mind?
Just being very gentle. It's a bit tight, so try not to disturb too much around me. And then I just want to land gently because I don't want to hit the vehicle too hard into the rocks, so I'm just kind of nestling in here. Kind of like that. And yeah, you want to give yourself, you have to think about where the arm is, not just where the sample is. So you want to make sure the arm has room to maneuver around the rocks to be able to get the sample. So you got to think about the vehicle, where the ship is, where Atalanta is, and then just trying to be, just kind of nestle yourself in there if there's an opening, which in this case there is. So now I just have to get the arm out and not hit the rock that's beside us. We might have to put this in the forward box.
There are 2 sea cucumbers in the forward box.
Yeah, yeah, I remember those.
How do you feel about opening that box?
I don't want to open that box.
You don't open it?
I don't want to open the front box terribly, no.
I think we can do it.
You think?
Yeah. if I do it right. So the one on the port side is open, right?
Yes.
Yes. Just open it a little tiny bit.
Everybody sounds really
Scarred.
scared.
Well, let's start with that. Let me just.
I'm gun shy.
They're ready to
Yeah.
take steals of the sea cucumbers flying all over the place.
I'm free.
This is probably more than that sea cucumber has moved its whole life.
Is that, who drew that face?
Dan probably.
That's a new one.
Is that how Hercules feels like?
I was saying that Hercules definitely tastes like bananas.
Bananas.
Yeah.
So there's a request to make sure we get a really good zoom of the polyps before we
Roger.
collect.
So I'm just going to try one thing here first.
One on the right's making a move.
Yeah, I'll put bubble on toolbox. You can. Oh, just kidding.
That's pretty good.
Just checking.
So I think we can put it in the front.
Okay.
We'll be gentle.
I
Okay,
believe
so
in you.
I'm a
let's get
believer.
a zoom. Well, so the nice little addition that we did with this vehicle is we added proportional control of our hydraulic valves from a pilot seat. So I can speed up and slow down the movements of our cylinders and anything that we move hydraulically from here.
Okay.
So I can set that to make it open very, very slowly.
You want to look more down, right, Jeff?
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
okay,
just
sorry.
slowly.
Yeah, you
no,
go
no,
for it.
that's
You
fine.
can do it.
Looking at the sponge is good too, but we also want to get the zoanthids.
Wow.
Okay. Is that all the Zoom video?
Yes, it is.
I might have the camera back right now too, actually.
So it's okay to cut it off about halfway, or if it's just easier to pluck the whole thing, do that.
Okay. Like either I could do either.
Oh, let's leave a little bit on the bottom.
Okay. So I think I'm gonna do what I'm gonna try and do is I'll collect it and then I'll bring it slowly up towards the box, and then I'm just gonna open the box a little bit, like maybe halfway.
Okay.
And then I'll try and rotate the sponge in first and then try and slide it in.
Okay.
Okay, we happy with the video shot there?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, we'll come wide, please.
I'm going to retract.
It looks like a
Yeah,
flower.
yeah, we'll track the camera.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. Like a little tulip.
Mm-hmm.
Zoom in, please.
Feeding for a
Little mark.
Valentine's Day flower.
That's good there for now. And more zoom, please. That's good. Just let me know, Jeff, if you think that's a good spot.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay. Okay, we'll come wide, please.
Look at those sharp squirrel cutters.
Yeah. Okay, I'll wait till I get a little closer.
Yep.
That looks great.
we'll do a gentle bump out. Let's reduce our PRV.
Okay.
Yeah, that's nice.
You've got a bubble view as well if you need it.
Okay.
Let's see. More?
Yeah, give me a little more. That's good there for now.
Okay.
Maybe just give me a little more.
Yeah. Come in close.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Wow.
Faster than that.
A little flower for you. Just stay tucked in.
Slow is good.
You're doing great. Whoa.
Awesome.
That was masterfully done. Thank you to the both of you.
It's still going.
Yeah, so that's exactly what we wanted. Nice and slow. There you go. Executed plan. Sorry, Noel, we didn't entertain you too much on that one. That was a bit.
That's okay.
I was on the edge of my seat,
Me too.
hoping that the sea cucumber would stay so calm.
Now we don't want to open that drawer.
Okay, let's keep going.
Okay. Yeah, we can put a move in. Yeah, having the valve control from the seat here has been a game changer for us. So it's awesome to have that option.
That was so cool. Thank you for being able to show it off. And so skillfully.
Noel, can you give me a sample number?
Yeah, that sample was 043.
Thank you.
So just to answer a question from one of our viewers, the distance between the two green laser dots is 10 centimeters.
Yep.
Some things are very tiny and some things are very huge.
Lots of old sponge stocks.
So I read earlier today that Acanthonus, the little cuskeel we saw this morning, allegedly has the smallest brain to body weight ratio of any bony fish.
Wow.
Really?
But that was as of 1987.
Wow.
Maybe it's grown since then.
I'm also not sure how expansive the brain to body weight fish ratio database is.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's very big.
It's just one fish.
There was a guy who published a bunch of papers in the early 2000s, and he looked at the different sizes of the sensory brain areas in fish and correlated them to their lifestyle. And it was really fascinating because you'd find, as you might expect for the species that we knew were scavengers, they had this huge portion of their brain devoted to processing olfactory signals. And there were some fishes that were known to really cue on bioluminescence, and they had a huge component of their brain that was made up of processing visual components. So it was, and then they could kind of extrapolate that to other species where we didn't know a whole lot about and say something about their biology. It was pretty cool. He never made any comments about who had the biggest brain.
That's probably you.
No, I don't think so.
But yeah. So this is a question from one of our viewers for Jeff. So we kind of started off this morning watch with just seeing a lot of sand, but it seems like the landscape has changed a lot. What do you think of it?
Yeah, so that was partly intentional. We wanted to sample a great depth range, and we wanted to sample a diversity of habitats. And, you know, very broadly speaking, you can have lower slope areas that typically have sand or mud, and you can have higher slope areas that typically have rock, either rubble or cliffs and big massive components like we're driving over right now. But each of those habitat types are definitely going to contain different organisms, and so we just wanted to make sure that we sampled both so that we could get the sort of a more comprehensive list of what the biodiversity in the area would be like. So wasn't surprising that we started on sand, and this is about what we expected here, and it is possible coming up in just a little while that we're going to shift back to sand a little bit.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah. Just looking at the bathymetric map, what we've got.
I was looking at the map there, Jeff. Would the top of this area be considered like a guyot type?
Yeah, the very top of this whole feature is really flat. We will not get to it on this dive. It is too far away,
okay.
but yeah, it does look like a guyot. We're going to climb to the top of a sort of a side pinnacle.
Okay.
Yep.
What's a guyot?
It just means a flat-topped seamount, and they typically form when you have subsidence of an atoll.
Right by the lasers there.
Oh, yeah.
Or there was the formation of, there's a little fish over there. That's Bazacetus. I can already tell.
I can move on.
Okay.
We can keep going.
Okay.
Would like to collect another one of those at some point, but this is a little challenging terrain, perhaps, to catch one in. But yeah, the guyots form either as atolls that subside, so you can think along the Hawaiian island chain, for instance. The big island of Hawaii is where the volcanism is, and it's very high, and it's a hot spot, and as the plate moves over that hot spot, you have islands formed, and as they move away from the hot spot, they cool, and they sink. And if you have an island, then have a fringing reef, and then finally the island mass itself is submerged below the sea, and you just have an atoll. And it tends to have this fringing reef define the outside of it, and the inside fills with reef and rubble and things like that, and then the whole island eventually, over geologic time, submerges, and you get this flat-topped seamount.
Zoom in, please.
Wow. That is quite the sponge.
Yeah, it's very different.
We've got a little mysid or shrimp. Lots of brittle stars.
You really see the spicules. Like,
Is it alive?
I can't tell. Usually when they're this brown, they are not. But I'm not sure.
okay, well, come light, please.
Yeah.
Jeff, I'm reading some of the chats, and they said the coral that we just collected is made of glass. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so, the sponge that we just collected, yes, yeah, so those are glass sponges, and the sponge actually creates a skeleton out of glass, silicon dioxide, and that particular type of glass sponge, Hyalonema, at the base of the sponge, it just keeps growing more and more glass so that it starts very low to the sediment, and over time, the bottom portion is no longer alive, but it just keeps growing at the tips, and it makes the tips taller and taller as it grows so that the stalk keeps growing upwards. And the stalk is made out of several of maybe 6 or 7 millimeter wide glass fibers. They are glass rods, so they look like a fiber optic cable. And it's really amazing that an animal can actually do that.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if they would like feel hard or crunchy.
The stalk definitely is. We'll
Wow.
see that when we bring it into the lab this evening, but it will be tough fibers. And part of the reason that the zoanthids were growing on them is the sponge is just trying to get up higher and higher into the current, and so everything on the bottom is just open glass. So it gets colonized by all kinds of organisms like the zoanthids and sometimes hydroids and other organisms. They just grow on the stalks.
Do we see that in the shallow areas? Glass corals?
Glass sponges?
Glass sponges, I mean?
Yeah, I don't think they come terribly shallow. They are brittle, so if they were exposed to waves or very, very strong currents, it's quite possible that they would just snap. I'm sure there must be some shallow water glass sponges, but they probably don't look like the one we collected.
There's lots in British Columbian waters, and
Are they?
yeah, like
Really
kind of
shallow?
100 to 300 meters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I asked because he said 2 to 300 meters. There's a speculation that Palawan money, the traditional Palawan money, it's like a bead that women usually wear. I think Elsa is wearing one actually. There's a speculation that they might have come from corals, and they are considered to be, when they test them to be, if they're real or not, they scratch it on glass or mirror, and if it scratches, then it has glass composites and it would be real.
Huh.
Oh, cool. You said that was the Palawan money beads? Oh,
Yes.
that is so cool.
Yeah.
And they're basically made of glass.
Yes. Yeah. So these were...
So there must be some shallow water sponge or some sponge that at least washes into shallow water perhaps during storms or something like that, or?
So archaeologically they believe that these were traded by indigenous voyagers that were traveling to Palau, so they were not made here in Palau actually.
Ah, okay.
Do any of these organisms that we see down here have a calcium carbonate skeleton, or are they all...
Yeah, a bunch of the
glass?
corals do.
Okay.
The bamboos, for instance, although it's a lot of magnesium. Magcalcite is what they usually refer to it as.
All the cup corals.
Yep, the cup corals,
Bamboo corals too?
bamboo corals, yep.
So pretty.
Is that the thing you saw earlier? Do you want to look at that?
Huh? If you think it could be of interest, we saw a few
Yeah.
already, right?
Josh, can we just turn right really quickly? There's a crinoid there that at least we haven't seen. The past watch might have. That guy right there.
I'll zoom in, please.
Is this a crinoid? crinoid or the starfish that dresses up like a crinoid?
Wow.
I am looking for the little feet,
Crinoid.
but I think it's a crinoid.
It's a little polychaete.
Great, thank you, Josh.
Okay, got my please.
So, Mansell, question from one of the viewers. Are there any Palauan proverbs or phrases that are related to the ocean or concern the ocean?
Oh my. There are so many. I said something in the earlier today about shrimps and lobsters and how it relates to being lazy. I'll think about one and I'll let you know. That's more appropriate for this. I actually have a list of them, so I'm looking it up right now, actually.
That's awesome.
Can we zoom on the ends of this coral here?
Sure, we'll zoom in, please.
Barnacles, brittle stars, crinoids.
What is that?
What is this right over here on the right? That reddish thing. Oh. I don't know. I first thought maybe anemone, but not sure what that is. Okay,
Okay, I'll come
let's
light,
keep
please.
going. I do not know what that is.
Oh, interesting.
Megan will probably know.
So we have a question that just came in for science. Will these unexplored seamounts that Nautilus and others explore, will they eventually be named, do you think?
I think it would be great if they got names. I think those names, I don't know. Mansell, is there any effort for Palauans to come up with some names for these seamounts?
Yeah, so that's the reason why I'm here, actually.
Okay.
So 6 months before this voyage was to set forth, we came together with the traditional leaders of Palau and the Historical Preservation Office in Palau to find ways to connect our culture and how our traditions have been in naming different organisms and different topographies on land to try to translate that into the deep sea. So when we're done here, we're going to go back to Palau and we're going to have we basically developed a cultural protocol to name all of these seamounts and the organisms that we find here, because most of them have never been seen here in Palau and are unknown to our traditional knowledge.
Wow, that is amazing and it's very exciting. Thank you for sharing.
So be good to me and I'll name some after you guys.
Sponge dungeon.
Wow. This is stunning.
This is a Rittigorgia magnispiralis. They're amazing.
So to answer the question about the proverb, I got one for you guys. In Palawan, it says "Ngoraibu rangamay, eldike radagadager." And in English, it says he's like a sea urchin between Ngiwal and Malgayok. These are two northern states, on the ocean floor with its cover. And it means the sea urchin can be seen lying quietly on the lagoon floor, occasionally with a leaf, like a hat covering its head. We discussed this earlier today. And this proverb would be applied to a man who acquires a wife or great wealth without working for it. So, what's the name of that sea urchin that you guys were referring to that had all
With the
the...
seagrass?
Collector urchin.
Oh, what is it?
The collector urchin?
The collector urchin. So you can call someone a collector urchin if they acquired a wife or wealth without working for it.
Do you guys eat sea urchins in the US as well?
Yep, usually part of Japanese cuisine.
Yeah.
Yeah, sushi.
Yeah. We make them with pasta, as you can imagine, in Italy.
Yep,
Yeah.
that
Of
makes
course,
sense.
everything with pasta.
Yeah.
That sounds really good.
Oh,
Like, what do
you
you put in it?
So usually, at least the recipe I was enjoying and that I tried is actually made with dried tuna eggs
Whoa.
and sea urchin gonads, which is what we actually eat in the sea
Yeah,
urchin.
it's the part,
Yeah.
we usually eat too.
Delicious.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Man, I should have brought more snacks.
We can barter snacks, Amanda, if you want.
I have cookies. I have this.
It's happening right now.
I have cookies from Guam.
Let's set up a snack economy on this
Cookies from
ship.
Guam.
Yeah, it's the
As
gift
we
economy. You know, it's the gift economy. So I have like these cookies from Guam that I brought over. Manzel got to try a few, and I left them on on one of the tables in the mess hall, and it was gone. I was just like, oh, I thought I lost it, and it's just gone.
They got eaten.
I have to tell you, I had some while filtering yesterday night. They were delicious.
I'm so glad that you enjoyed them.
But I didn't definitely finish them, so someone else must have participated in that.
Let's see.
Renzel, when it comes to naming the seamounts, just remember who's been giving you chili oil.
You were the one who brought the chili
Right,
oil?
I will not forget.
Let's see.
It's customary here in Palau to give our visitors Palauan names. There's too many people on this boat for me to name everyone, but maybe I'll give you a Palauan name and then name the seaman after you.
I'm still waiting for mine, Manzel.
What do you mean you got yours already? I'm just kidding. By the way, Greta, what's the name of that dried tuna that you were talking about to eat with pasta?
I didn't catch that, sorry.
The dried tuna thing that you're eating with sea urchin and pasta?
In Italian.
Yeah.
Bottarga.
Oh yeah, okay. I remember.
Yeah.
Someone brought me some, it's good.
So Jeff, the ship's going to stop just for a minute when we get to this position here, and they need to do a bit of a reset on one of the DP systems.
Okay.
So I'll just kind of tour around in the spot a little bit.
One of our viewers just said, my friend.
Wow.
Oh, beautiful.
Sorry. Go ahead, man.
No, it's okay. It was one of our viewers just said, my friend once gave me urchin-flavored potato chips, just in case you need snack ideas. I have no idea what that would even taste like.
Probably fishy.
Salty.
Like the sea.
Not like a sea urchin.
Like a sea urchin.
Have you ever tasted pizza flavored chips? It doesn't taste like pizza.
I like that extrapolation there.
Search into pizza. How about search on pizza?
What about ketchup chips? Oh, I miss ketchup chips.
Don't say that in front of
Isn't that
anybody.
like a Canadian exclusive?
I think we're hungry.
Yeah.
I know, I only brought the
We should
espresso
have been. Dinner
beans.
was not long ago.
Zoom in, please.
Wow, what is this?
This is another bamboo coral. It's one of these what we call lyrate because it's got this lyre shaped or this kind of candelabra kind of shape to it. And if we can just zoom in on the node at the base where everything branches, I think that might be useful.
Let me, I'm just going to settle down here and we'll get a nice shot of it.
It's pretty. We've been coming across a lot of pretty organisms on this.
Let's come a little wider for a sec, please. Yeah, we'll zoom in, please.
Oh, that's a great zoom. Okay, so it branches out the nodes.
I'm just muscle memory. I knew it's this is the same joystick as the Falcons.
This has got plenty of current, and it has all its polyps open.
I'm so used to doing.
So we have a scientist at UH, her name is Fanny Gerard, and she has put down time-lapse cameras on corals like this and watched when they open and close their polyps, and it's really interesting. They have cycles of doing that vary with the currents, and there's some suggestion that they can change that, sort of whether they're open or whether they're closed, based on seasons as well. It's pretty amazing stuff. She puts these cameras down on these corals for months at a time. Okay, that's great.
Okay, we'll come wide,
The
please.
reason that on some of these bamboo corals, the polyps are only on one side, like one axis of the stem?
I vaguely remember Les Watling telling me that that was a character. I don't know why they do it, but that, yeah, it's present on a bunch of bamboos, but not all.
So Fanny came on board when we were at UH, and she's sitting there, and we were both looking at each other, and we're like, we knew each other, and then we finally figured out that she had sailed on Nautilus years before in the Gulf of Mexico, and we were there doing a bunch of coral work, taking pictures of corals around the like where the wellhead area was, where the whales fell. Yeah,
right.
So it was so funny because she just walked on, and I'm like, hey, I know you. But, yeah,
That's cool.
It was pretty great. Yeah, that was a fun cruise.
She's done amazing work understanding the impacts of the Deepwater Horizon spill on the corals and deepwater communities there. It's really good stuff.
That was a challenging requirement to
you had
data.
to, yeah.
They had this book.
Oh, can we?
Another one of those
Yeah.
purple things.
Yeah, this was the one we were at before.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep going then.
Okay.
As soon as the ship allows you.
Yeah, it's just kind of doing a little something right now. I think it's changing heading and stuff at the moment. Yeah, you had this mug book, we call the mugshot book.
Oh, for exactly which corals and which headings and all that?
Yeah, you had to find the coral cluster, which had a number on it, like an actual marker, and then you would find it, and then you'd have to put the ROV exactly in the same spot where the picture was taken, and then you had to frame up the exact same photo that was taken before.
Right.
And then once the photo was taken, you have this really long stick with a a ball, like a sort of like a wiffle ball, but not really. Anyway, like a ball that had a bunch of holes in it that they knew the size of, and then you have to just put it, just barely touch it, the coral, so they could get a picture. Because it's very difficult to get the exact size with just the laser dots.
Right.
So they had this scalable kind of ball that we would use on a long stick, which is very difficult to...
Oh, there's a... Is that a fish? That is not a fish. It's not moving. Never mind.
That's a difficult task when you're just like diving and looking at a coral. I cannot imagine.
So we would kind of land in the area.
An ROV.
Yeah, then you'd open the
You're
book.
with an ROV?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we'd all study the book, and then everyone would be like, no, this way, turn your heading like 2 degrees that way. It was just, it was crazy. Okay, I'm going to come back towards... Coming back.
Yeah, they saw this progression of coral health over time after some of the corals had gotten oiled, and a lot of them died. And turns out a bunch that had brittle stars in them. The brittle stars helped clean off the corals, and they seem to do better than ones that didn't have any brittle stars.
How did the brittle stars do?
Some of them died too,
Yeah.
and then the coral followed.
So I've got a question for the science team. Whenever I glance over, it seems like your chats are pretty lively. Do the scientists ashore sleep? Are they always on?
We have scientists that are coming and going based on the time zone that they're in. So Asako Matsumoto is in Japan, I believe,
Back there. I don't know
and Steve Oskovich is on the eastern United States. And I'm not exactly sure where Tina Molitsova is right now. She can probably tell me if she's listening to this.
The ship is moving, eh?
We have Martina's
north.
not on. Martina Gagliotti is from Italy, and I'm trying to see who else we've got here. Oh,
Right.
yep, Tina's in Moscow. There we go.
Need you to kind of keep a sharp eye on the ship right now.
So, Bridge Nav, are we back underway, or are you just rotating?
But the point is, we have people from many, many time zones, so they come and go as their schedules permit.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I thought they were all...
We need to try and hold position if we can.
I thought they were all just fueled by enthusiasm and excitement all the time.
Oh, well, he's gone from here to here, right? So he's moved quite a bit north. So sorry, Jeff, I'm getting pulled right off the wall here just temporarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to chase the ship. So I'm gonna keep on going straight the way I'm going right now.
So, Dan, you mentioned that the ship had to be rotated?
Yeah, I think they were trying to reset something at DP, and so the ship just kind of drifted a bit to the north right now, but we'll get it back under control here in a sec.
Cool, thank you.
I think we have a pretty significant surface current they're trying to deal with.
So I know this may seem a little crazy, Josh, but I know the folks in my lab will appreciate it if we don't go over the same ground twice.
Yep.
Yeah, so even if it means just zipping real fast in mid-water back to sort of where we stopped before.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can you drop a mark on here that kind of was
You're
roughly
telling me
about
they
where
don't
we were?
want to ID the same
Somewhere
corals?
Yeah.
They
right
really
there.
don't. They don't want to
Like,
annotate
does
the
even a
same
so
cursor? Like you
for
can drop
twice.
a cursor mark
Yeah.
right there
We'll talk
somewhere.
to Megan about that.
Where we were?
Yeah, like that, like somewhere here.
Okay. Okay.
They count so many animals. It's amazing. On a dive like this, it's just
Yeah, we've got a
thousands and
1 knot
thousands.
surface current right now.
Oh, wow. It's cranking.
No, I'll slow down a little bit.
Well,
We're beamed to the current right now, so I think they're going to keep rotating.
They'll probably want to go ahead onto the current.
really is a testament to how powerful the ocean is.
Yeah, this is, I don't want to step ahead, but one of these days it's going to be the Palawan word of the day, current. And I think Greta has dibs to that. I think she wants to, she owns that word, I think. The Palawan word for current.
Yeah?
Should I say?
Yeah, sure.
Hopefully I'll say it right.
They
Berrius.
put the, we can't really hear you.
I love that Italian
What is
Say,
it?
say again
Flavor.
clearly.
Berrius.
Yep, correct.
Yeah, correct. All right. I noticed that between Italy and Italian and Palawan, many sounds are very similar. So it doesn't come too hard for us.
Yeah,
Italians,
it sounds like
to say.
she's trying to over-enunciate, but it's actually pretty right on.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. How are you doing, Max? Are you on the lookout for sharks? Is that why you're wearing your shark shirt?
Always on the lookout for sharks.
Is that a squid?
Little shrimp, it looked like on my screen.
Shrimp plus plus.
I think they're sleeping for now, but whenever they come on, I'll tell them that we saw more. I also think that having a shrimp counter would be a really interesting outreach tool. So for our pilots, can you feel the current at this point?
Not really, because I don't have a visual reference anymore. So, other than the marine snow. But, yeah, now we're just using all the instrumentation to stay in the right position while the ship's getting back into position.
Yeah, the surface current was actually moving about 180 degrees to the current Herc was experiencing at the beginning of the dive. So they're moving completely opposite directions.
Oh man.
Hard to say what it's doing at this point.
Sir needs to change his heading like 180 degrees.
Yeah.
Split the difference between the wind and the current.
Yeah, he's got another at least 90 to go.
Yeah.
Josh, Rye, have you experienced?
Looks like it's working pretty hard. We're at
It's
75%.
real hard.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that, Amanda?
Oh, no problem. Have you experienced a situation like this before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the currents here, and well, obviously the wind has been almost very minimal. But, you know, there's times when the weather comes up or things come in and the ship has to, you know, fight to change position. So we kind of had a change in the forces, so like a pretty significant change in the force direction. So now that kind of messed up how the ship is positioned, like into those forces. So they're trying to change that. And while you do that, if you're turning, then sometimes you can drift off position that you want to be under. So you're trying to put the ship in a position where it's working efficiently, so it's not working the thrusters, to its maximum. So you can kind of get the ship into a particular heading, depending on the forces, that will kind of minimize how much power that you have to use from the vessel to stay in position and move along the dive track. So they're resituating right now quite a bit. This is a little bit unusual that they have to really change this much, but it'll get sorted out.
Yeah, of course. And how about you, Rye? What kind of factors are you considering to
Okay for a DVL reset?
make sure everything's
Sure.
safe?
Yeah, I mean, in this situation, I'm kind of following Josh's lead. So we turned our heading around so that we were kind of heading towards the ship and where Atalanta should be sitting at the rear of the ship. And then from there, I'm just kind of following his lead on what we're doing and keeping an eye on the 10 million screens that I'm looking at any given time. So.
Yeah, I mean, we have to remember that Atalanta basically gets moved by the ship. So as the ship moves, Atalanta will swing. So Rye needs to keep Atalanta at a good height off the bottom, and then I'm just keeping a decent relative position that makes sense kind of between where the ship is and Atalanta is. And then keep our tether, you can see in the Atalanta view, that's the tether's got a nice catenary, and I'm just kind of hanging out in that spot. And then I'm driving using our USBL navigation to know where I am relative to each other and where the ship is. And then I'm just driving to keep that same position, keep the vehicle safe, keep our tether from getting twisted up or tight. And I'm just following the ship really right now.
Nav, go ahead. Yeah, stand by.
How are you doing, Dan?
Dan's deep in thought at the moment.
All right, thank you.
You should be pointed about right into it now. I've got about a 1 knot current coming from bearing 160. No problem.
So the way the DP system works, if anyone wants to kind of dive into that a little bit, but they have wind and direction and speed on there. That's a measured thing. They also have another measured forces, but the current is actually a calculated one. So it doesn't actually have a way to input a measured current. So it's it can be, you have to sort of take it with a little bit of grain of salt. It's sort of like the end result of all the other calculations. But we actually, a couple of years ago, put a EK80 with a ADCP on it, so we can actually have actual current. So where Dan was just given the bridge, that information about what the measured current was doing.
Oh, thank you so much for that insight.
Yeah. So it looks like the ship's come around almost 180 from where it was. And that should help with getting a little more control.
It looks like the DP system's working less hard. Yeah. Still working pretty hard. With our ADCP, we can measure currents down to about 100 meters depth, and and the way it works is by using the Doppler effect. So in the same way that the apparent frequency of an ambulance siren becomes much higher as it approaches you, and then becomes lower as it moves away from you. We can use that same effect to determine the velocity of water moving underneath the ship.
Oh, thank you so much for that.
So I'm going to, eventually I'm going to
Hey,
come around on the other side. I'll come to port. when
I
do
have a
that.
question for you. Have you ever seen an oarfish?
No, I have never actually seen one alive before. I have the head of one in my lab.
Oh my goodness.
I have seen them in collections many times. There was a fresh one that I saw when I was a graduate student that was brought in by a group that found it washed up on the beach in San Diego.
How big was it?
Oh, at least 15 feet long. I don't remember. It could have been 20. Very long.
Yeah, incredible
Yeah,
fish.
incredible. Yeah, there was a picture of about, I don't know, 20 guys, each with their arm around it, holding it. And yeah, just to give you an idea of the size of this fish. They've been seen a number of times with ROVs. A number of the folks that drive the ROVs around oil rigs in the Gulf of Mexico have seen oarfish swim by. And they're a very bizarre fish. They actually orient themselves vertically, head up, tail down in the water column.
What do you mean?
Do you know those, Amanda?
I didn't know that I do know about them, but I didn't know that they are vertical.
Yeah, I mean, these are the fish that sea serpent stories are made out of, right? Because every once in a while they come up to the surface or come into shallow water, probably because they're sick or disoriented, and they're just massive. They have almost no teeth in their mouth. They eat krill. They're of absolutely no danger to people, but they're big. So
what is known about their distribution?
So there's a couple of species, I believe. I think somebody told me that's actually disputed. I haven't seen the genetic evidence, so I don't know myself. It may be published, but they're very widely distributed.
So if we're lucky, maybe we can find one here in Palau, do you think?
Well, possibly. We do know that they're generally mesopelagic. Based on the observations that we have made, they're typically found shallower than 1,000 or maybe 1,500 meters, something like that.
Right.
Yeah, and that makes sense based on the coloration that they have. Their fins are red, which is camouflage in low light. But if they lived a whole lot deeper, they probably wouldn't bother, and they would just be pale. But they're silvery bodies, red fins. Their pelvic fins are like little paddles out on sticks, and often those are seen pointing out sideways from their body, and we think that they use that like little flipping paddles to herd krill towards their mouths.
What a bizarre animal.
Yeah, just incredible.
But I gotta ask, how'd you get the head?
Came in, I think that it was given to me by somebody at the Fisheries Center, Pacific Island Fisheries Science Center, a guy by the name of Bob Humphreys. And there was no collection information with it, but he had collected all manner of things over many years of a career, and he was cleaning out a freezer one day. So I took a number of the specimens, including some sharks and other things, for my teaching collection. So when I teach pelagic ecology or fish biology, you need specimens of many of these animals so that students can actually take a look at them and learn how to identify them and that sort of thing. So that fish head is part of that collection.
That is so cool. Have you named it?
I have not named it.
Like, hey, that's Gary.
He watches over my papers. That's amazing. I wonder how you can preserve and store something as big as that. Are there long tubes in science? that they use?
Yeah, so some of these fish go into really large tanks, typically made out of wood or fiberglass or metal. They need to have really good sealing airtight lids so that the preservatives don't evaporate. There's in the Bishop Museum collection in Honolulu, they have the first specimen of a megamouth shark in a tank there, and a megamouth shark is 12 feet long.
Wow.
It's the deep sea version of a whale shark. It's a plankton feeder, like basking sharks or whale sharks, and they have this entire specimen in a dedicated custom-built tank, which mostly ends up getting used as a table because it's so massive. They can put working things, you know, there's papers and jars of other things in the collection on top of it. Yeah.
Jeff, I'm a fisherman, so what I'm gonna ask. Did you taste any of them?
I have tasted a couple of deep sea fish. I think I told this story a couple of nights ago, but I had an advisor when I was in graduate school, a fish biologist, who strongly suggested that all graduate students try their study animal. And my study animal was a deep sea rat tail from the abyssal plain. And I brought some home, some fillet, and cooked it up. And it was the incredibly shrinking fillet. It basically went to half its original size. It was all water and it all cooked off, and the rest was connective tissue, and it was chewy and just not very good. So, and Menzel suggested that next time I try it, I should steam it, but I don't know that there's going to be a next time.
Yeah. Wow.
So Jeff, just a question for you.
Sure. How far are we now?
Well, we're going back in the right direction now.
That's great.
So if you look in high pack, you can see
the
ship's kind of backed up a little bit to the north.
Uh-huh.
Now, we could come down here, we're a little bit over to the side, or would you prefer us to go further south and then just kind of pick up where we left off?
If we go over to the side and we're not actually covering the same terrain, that's good.
Yeah, because it looks like, so that red line and stuff, that's...
let's just give ourselves, a margin of error just to make sure that we're definitely not overlapping. And then, let's do that. That'd be great.
Okay, because I'm tempted to have the ship just hold position here, make sure the ship is feeling happy with what...
Oh, just to test it?
Just to make sure they're good.
Yeah.
And then I'm about 28 meters off the seafloor right now, so I could come down and acquire the bottom again.
Okay.
Wait for a bit, make sure they settle and they're happy, and then we can step from there.
That sounds like a good plan.
Okay. You good with that, Dan? Okay, I'll start to come down.
Yep.
So Menzel, I should also tell these some of the listeners, there are some deep sea fishes that you can eat that you sometimes find in fish markets. The opa, I don't know what it might be called in Palau if it comes into markets. Is it?
It does.
It does? Yeah.
I saw it once. There's one fishing boat in Palau that goes for pelagic fishing.
Yeah.
And I saw that a couple of times.
Big round fish with red fins.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful fish. That's a mesopelagic fish. It typically lives between about 100 and 1,000 meters or so. And that tastes marvelous. And then there are also another group of fishes, some of which are kind of deep sea, called pomfrets. They're black and they have tall dorsal and tall anal fins that kind of look like sickles. It's kind of like an oval fish with, and they have really thick scales. And a number of those are deep living, maybe down to 800 meters or so.
That's interesting. For Palau, we call the Opa, we call it the Palauan name. It's like a phrase, actually. It's not a name. Babi Radab, pig of the ocean.
Pig of the ocean.
Yeah. I guess it has, compared to others, I guess it has a higher fat content, I guess. Yeah.
That's cool. Is it like fatty, like salmon?
I think it's like fat, like fat, like from a pig.
Oh,
Yeah, like
interesting.
It has a layer on the side of fat. It swims with its pectoral fins a lot of the time. And just 10 years ago, they discovered that this is one of the fishes that actually is endothermic. It creates heat in the muscles to keep its muscles warm, so its muscles can act more rapidly, can contract faster, it can swim faster, like tunas. They're not warm-blooded like
we are.
Mammals or birds where they have a set temperature, but they do stay warmer than the surrounding water. So their temperature varies, but it's always warmer than the surrounding water. And just around their muscles. So some of that fat helps as insulation around the pectoral muscles on the side of the fish.
That's so cool. Thank you.
So that and the Palauan Nautilus are some of the few deep sea organisms that we have Palauan names for. We don't have a lot.
That's cool.
What about oilfish? Ruvetus? Is that one that you know?
Whalefish?
No, oilfish.
Oilfish.
Big tuna-looking fish.
Let me look it up real quick.
That was pretty popularly caught on deep slopes by hand line long time ago by Hawaiians and Tahitians and some other island groups in the Pacific. They get really big. They get up to 100 pounds.
Wow.
What shallow, like pelagic fish or shallower fish, would you say is similar to that?
To an oilfish?
Yeah.
God,
Looks
it's
a
a
little
little
bit like
Pelidae. I'm trying to think of what would be
Amberjack,
similar.
maybe.
Amberjack?
It's in shape, not in color. Or
Yeah,
anything
maybe in
else.
shape. Oilfish has really rough scales, though. I'm not sure.
Looks
But
like
if you
we're-
look
see, we're
Ruvetus
still
up,
drifting.
you'll see oilfish.
We're here, and now we're drifting west again.
Yeah. I don't think we have, we don't have a
That
Palauan
wasn't
name
one
for
you
that
get,
one.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that's huge. No, we don't have one.
Can we kind of cut around to the right a little bit, Josh? Will the ship allow us to do that? I'm just kind of looking at the tracks, and we're kind of pointed back to the other one.
Yeah, I think we'll kind of slide more like what, I don't know, something like 210, I guess. So we're kind of go parallel to that track for now.
Okay, yeah.
So, Greta, do you think this
I
could
just
be
talked
like a
to Jeff
product of
about
the
that.
trade winds?
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
I was going to shoot for bearing 237 out here to come way out wide to make sure we don't overlap anything.
Yeah, that sounds
Is
great.
that good?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then we can cut back up to the point where we left off and keep going, or just keep going, period. Yeah, that sounds good.
Great.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
what was the question, Amanda?
No problem. Thank you for that.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. So, Greta, do you think this could be like a product of the trade winds like we talked about earlier?
The surface current?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't think so. First of all, because the trade winds haven't started yet.
Mhm.
So by what it looks like from the weather forecast, it seems like they should be starting in the next days or next week. which is also a bit early because they usually start in December. And so yeah, we expect more like a 10 knots of wind starting from this weekend, I think. But that doesn't really have much to do with the surface currents. Also because now we really have very low winds. So I wouldn't say so. It's probably just normal, like ocean circulation that's causing this right now.
Awesome, thank you.
And we got some fun fact about eating samples here in the science chat. Because
Yeah, go read away.
so here we have Jethro that says that he only ate Ascedophilus medusophagus, a Cornish blackfish. I'm not sure what this
No,
was.
this is one of these anemone fishes that hangs out with jellies, I think, in midwater. If it's the one I'm thinking that Jethro is talking about.
Yeah. And not bad. Okay, so better than the rat tail by the looks of it. And then we have Sako Matsumoto, which is from Japan, and she said that anglerfish, I think she means anglerfish, in a soup, Japanese style, is very good.
Wow.
And it's water rich, so it definitely makes very good soup.
Ooh.
You can always count on the Japanese to make anything good. Yeah.
Oh, quite.
How's the ship doing?
It's doing all right. It's moving the direction we asked it to.
Great.
So much corals here. Have a look at this, Jeff.
Absolutely, this is great. Let's if we can kind of make our way around this little bit of forest here, that would be great.
Look like this side of this ridge may have a bit more life. Definitely looks like the current is coming this way.
Right, from sort of the right to the left.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rudagorgia, some big bamboos.
Urchin?
Yep, there's a little Sparosoma urchin down there.
Rhino?
Can we zoom on this little associate in that thin coral down there?
Sure.
That's cool too over there.
Oh yeah. What is it?
Don't know.
Will you zoom in, please?
thin bamboo. Mostly dead. Oh, it's got polyps out on the ends of the arms. Great, thanks.
Okay, I'll come wide, please.
So Dan, when the nav data is logged, it's all the raw data, right? Is the line that we see in red actually some sort of smoothed function? I don't know.
I'm honestly not sure
Okay.
how that's that data is sampled, what the sample rate is there.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the high pack line? Sorry.
Yeah, the high pack red line, is that sort of subsampled or smoothed, or is it just raw data?
It would be, well, the Sonardyne data is going to apply a Kalman filter to that solution. So it is raw in a sense, but there is some active filtering going on, which then Sonardyne software would provide a more, basically a solution for into high pack. So K2 kind of built a nav solution for us based on a bunch of different factors. So what you're seeing there is our real-time nav solution.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not raw, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Not raw USBL data.
Right.
It's the solution is a combination of things.
Do you think we should maybe turn towards that wall again?
Yeah.
So this move we're doing is kind of a long contour along the contour,
just to get us away from the old transect.
and then we'll turn back up the hill.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. Yes, I wanted to follow that as well, Greta. But we're kind of.
Oh, there were so many corals.
There was a lot of corals there, but
yeah, it was very cool.
But unfortunately, I have to.
We're trying to not overlap.
I have to follow. I'm tied to this big ball of stainless steel.
So, Ryan, Josh, how are you kind of like navigating these, this kind of situation?
Well, yeah, like Atalanta's was barely started to move yet, right? Yeah, it's just starting. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can make another move. It'll get going. Yeah. Yeah, it had to swing way up, and now it's like penduluming back. So it just takes a bit to get moving through all that water. Sorry. Sidebar. What was the question there again?
Oh,
yeah.
How are you navigating the situation?
Oh yeah, I couldn't see it facing that.
Don't
just
panic.
there's a shadow, and sponge there, Sacocalix. There's another Hyalonema. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully everything moves pretty slow down here.
Oh, another one of those stylish wine glasses.
So we just kind of have to follow. There's a lot of information up here to help us understand where we are, where the ship's moving, our relative position to the ship. So essentially what we did there, we got pulled off the wall, which is actually the safest for the vehicle's direction. So it means we went out into open water rather than being, if we got pulled to the south, that would have pulled us into the wall, which meant we would have had to come up quite quickly. But since we got pulled to the north, it was actually pretty easy just to, in a safe way. We could just kind of keep our tether. Our main thing is to keep the tether from getting tangled or tight or looped. And so we were just able to keep everything in a safe position to and follow the ship. Atalanta follows the ship no matter where it goes, and in turn, so does Herc. So, yeah, it happens sometimes. The ship gets out of position, and you just have to do your best to keep everything under control and then get back on track when you get there.
How is this so far for you?
For me?
Mm-hmm.
It's fine for me. It's just not great because we got pulled off the science objective. So just trying to work to get back on track here as quickly as we can. But it looks like we're starting to see some pretty cool corals here.
Yeah, big bathypathes.
Cucumber too.
As we pass this, can we zoom on it real quick?
Sure, let's zoom in, please.
That's great. Thanks.
Okay, come wide.
We barely encountered any fish in this watch. You must be quite sad.
I know. It's okay. As we get a little higher, I think we're going to be getting a little flatter when we get back up to where we were before, and there will probably be a patch in there with some fish.
Shrimp plus plus.
Please, fish plus plus.
Jeff, are you regretting not zooming on that Bazazetus?
No, we've seen a bunch of them. It's okay. It's a nice Umbellula sea pen.
You want me to take a picture? No.
No. We can see in the stills camera that there's some big corals coming our way.
Where's the stills camera located?
Like physically on the vehicle or up on the screen?
On the vehicle.
Yeah, so it's, yeah, it's good one, Ryan. you want to explain where the still vehicle is? Still camera is on the vehicle?
Captain Obvious.
Oh yeah, actually I can show you where the still camera is.
We can
Here,
show you
wanna
where it
see
is.
it?
Take you on a tour.
Here, let me show you the world. Okay.
I would be so honored.
Okay, so Amanda, are you able to see this
Yes.
camera that's
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
there? Okay. Still camera is the top one of these two stacked cameras, right? Oh, sorry.
So the WCA's on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Thank
Yeah.
you for showing me the world.
So Dan very skillfully mounted the still camera on top of the other one.
Wow.
Nice.
That's so cool. Thank you for sharing.
It's going to be a big one.
That's probably worth a picture there.
We have quite a lot looking like this from
Do
this
we?
side. Yes.
Okay.
But we can take more.
Well, you know, imagery's cheap.
I'm not the one that will have to go through them, so it's okay.
Oh, we forgot to tell you that, Greta.
You're not done when you get off the boat.
It's more sampling to do. Just of images.
Look at
That's
that.
a cute one.
This is incredibly tall.
Really tall, yeah.
We don't have the lasers. Maybe.
Oh.
Do you want lasers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, they're on.
They're on?
Yeah, they're on.
Oh,
They're down below.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just,
I see.
it's
I
just
see.
we have so much.
I'm 5 meters
It's
off
so
the
big
floor.
that I cannot
We're
even see
5
it.
meters off the bottom right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, it's huge.
Wow.
Wow.
Tall one.
That's incredible. We will need to get a close-up shot of some of the polyps.
Okay, let's zoom in, please.
So the other side doesn't have polyps, or are they just closed?
Now, part of the other side looks like, I'm not sure now. I'm looking over there. It may have closed-up polyps. That's great.
Okay, want to come wide, please? Yeah, 5.7 meters off, 6 meters off the seafloor.
Wow.
And maybe a good meter and a half of that is just because we have a slope behind us,
Yeah,
right?
that's true. Yep.
I don't know exactly where the altimeter is on the
The
vehicle.
DVL's at the very back of the vehicle, so
Yeah,
yeah, you're
okay.
right. It's a little bit,
But still, this thing might
Still.
be 4 meters high or something like
I would
that.
say.
12 feet high.
sure.
Crazy.
Okay, I need to go more west. Atalanta's just barely moving. It's like stuck in the current or something.
So the ship has a current, Atalanta another one, and Hercules one other. There's
Yeah.
so many layers of currents going
I
in the
think
opposite way.
We're certainly in different currents, I would say. Yeah, down here to the surface.
There can be layers of currents?
Yeah, water forms a lot of layers because of water can have different densities and different salinity, and the water masses don't mix. So it's like having, it can form many actually different layers in the water column, but even in shallow waters you can find the different layers.
Wow. I didn't know that. Thank you.
Yeah, the current at the bottom is appears to be about 90 degrees off the surface current the ship's experiencing right now.
The way it was explained to me by my dad, he said same as like wind currents. So sometimes you feel the wind coming a certain direction, and then you look at the clouds, they're going a different direction.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. High altitude, low altitude. Yep.
Yeah, we'll keep stepping over.
I don't know. I don't even know who it's directed to.
Do we have a funny question here?
Well, it just says from one of our viewers, hello, good day. I just want to ask regarding my exam next week. I would like to cancel it because of some personal matters. I just want to ask if there's any possibility I can receive a refund. There's a lot to unpack here, and I'm not quite sure.
Well, I do teach a class right now. It is deep sea biology, but it does not have an exam next week.
Oh, just don't go. It's okay.
Don't blame us if you fail.
Yeah. But you'll be all right. It's okay.
Can we look just a touch to the left?
Sure.
What is sort of a very different colored rock, or
Can we zoom
just
in,
a
please?
quick zoom?
Coconut?
Yeah? Or... No.
No, or is that just rock with something growing on the surface of it? That's a rock.
Okay.
Old sponge or something.
Come wide, please.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Atalanta, move.
I'm sorry.
Swing.
Urchin.
Yeah.
Urchin?
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
Those ones can be speedy.
Whoa.
They move fast.
Is that the one that escaped?
Would you say that's 10 centimeters across?
Let's see, just wrong.
Close.
Just under.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
Will you zoom in, please?
That's weird.
Trying to see which one it is. At first I thought it would be something like Sparosoma, but it's not quite right. But it's one of these kind of pancake urchins.
Cute.
Okay, we'll come wide, please.
Okay, urchin.
It can be challenging to collect those ones.
Yeah.
They're very
They
soft.
oh,
and
so
then but they can also move quickly. Like they sort of sense that you're there, and then they just bolt.
How quickly?
Like faster than you would think that they would go.
Do they kind of just tumble away, or?
Sometimes they just kind of drift off, but then other times they like actively like can move.
yeah. It's definitely in that family Sparosomatiinae, but not sure which one it is. Yeah.
Jeff, we're about 70 meters to the west of our last
Great.
track here. We're
Great.
okay to start moving toward our planned waypoint?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get moving uphill, and then I'll be able to get a little better video.
There was? Oh, to the exam question. Can I rebook my discounted booking of OET exam? I believe that you are referring to the ship-to-shore interactions, which are completely free 99.
I'm Amanda, I feel like that was a dad joke. Like that was just.
That's probably why I laughed so hard.
Wait, let me check. Is my dad on here? I saw the Philippines just earlier. Was on. Jeff, do you have any dad jokes? Extra points if they're fishy dad jokes.
No, I do not have any. I'll give me some time to think.
Okay.
What's a fish with no eyes called?
Oh my God, you got it packed. What is it?
Psh.
Nice.
Thanks. I'm pretty sure my dad has been telling that one since I was like 2, and it's the only one I can remember.
No, those are perfect. Thank you.
And that's either hemicorallium or paragorgia, but
Can we zoom in, please?
yeah. I am terrible at separating them at a distance, and Megan has told me how to do it several times.
What are her ways?
I think this is hemicorallium.
I agree.
I want to yes, okay.
Yeah. It's, yeah, I can.
It doesn't have the clubs on the end, right?
Yeah, the paragorgia one, yeah.
Right. Paragorgia has the clubs, hemicorallium doesn't.
Ugh.
And then whether the base of the stalk is yellow or white is the other character, I think. Uh-oh. Stuck?
Okay, we'll come wide, please.
Oh my gosh, we're getting dad jokes in the
Well,
chat.
yeah, of course.
Oh, please, please do read them.
You put it out there.
I
and
said the magic words.
the internet will respond.
I've summoned all the dads. Okay, one of them is, what did the blind fish say when it swam into a wall?
What?
Damn.
That's a Pacific Northwest joke for sure. Okay.
What makes it a Pacific Northwest joke?
Oh, damn.
Sure, yeah.
What is a comb jelly's favorite time of day?
Oh, I know this one now. 10:04.
Yeah.
10:04?
Like Tina 4.
Tina 4.
Oh.
Okay.
See if I could remember any of the lines.
You gotta say it in an Italian accent.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Can we zoom in, please?
That's a pretty one.
That is a pretty sponge.
Okay, we'll come wide, please.
This one.
I feel like I'm Max.
Oh, the buzzing noise?
I do hear a buzzing noise.
Is that me again?
I don't know.
Really? Am I
I
tapping
think
now?
it's me again, but I already changed the headset twice,
Oh no.
so I'm not sure if it's
So
my
maybe
seat.
something's wrong with the actual jack on the console or something like
Yeah.
that that's causing some interference.
Because if I turn off the mic, there's no more buzzing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hear nothing. Go ahead. No, I don't hear anything anymore.
Well, I do hear it.
you?
Yes.
Oh, no.
As long as I'm the only one hearing it, it's no problem.
Oh, no. Your presence is so powerful.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming our
Like
systems.
my radio, my radiation.
You're electric.
Do you hear it right now?
No.
Okay. Let me know if it comes back, because I did not notice it. Josh's mic does seem to have magically fixed itself, though.
Yeah. It's weird.
What was it doing?
It was making a sound like something was rolling around in a drawer.
Really?
It was really annoying.
Oh. There's something in my brain.
It's just rolling around.
It's just rolling around up there. Huh.
Talk about brain to body ratio.
Yeah.
They'll never stop. Shrimp Plus Plus is back.
Oh, they're back. We missed you.
Thank you for being such a diligent shrimp counter.
Sulong plus plus.
Keep trying to fly uphill, but we're not quite ready for that yet.
Atalanta keeps